What's happening, guys? We are here. We are live. Thursday evening roundup, if you want to call it that. Big up to everyone locked in. Listen, be sure to hit the like button, guys, and be sure to subscribe because we've got so much to talk about. I'm nursing a toothache today, but we're here. We're trying to bring the content, and I've got to kind of persevere through the pain to bring you lot the content, because I promise you lot I'll be consistent. And of course, we've got a lot to talk about today. Earlier today, I was setting up for the stream as I usually do, and then the tide kind of changed because the news changed, information changed, and we're going to talk about all of that. So listen, big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well. If are we going to call Man United like Dutchester United or something like that, because today is a Dutch day for Manchester United. It's a Dutch day. 2 assistant coaches announced as Manchester United's second and third in command, both from the Netherlands. And then here we go from Fabrizio Romano as well for Joshua ZIRKZEE. And that's another fellow Dutch guy. Now, I don't want to be a conspiracist and say that, you know, this is all moving a lot faster because England knocked out the Netherlands, but I definitely think with the ZIRKZEE one, it is. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the financial side of stuff, the financial side of the deal that kind of changes it. It changes a lot for Manchester United, can I just say that? And that's what happens when you've got the right people in place to kind of make those negotiations, make those decisions, make those talks. I do feel like the previous regime may have approached this deal a bit differently and maybe just straight away triggered the release clause, but Manchester United have opted down a different route. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, we're going to talk about what does it mean for RUUD van Nistelrooy's return to Old Trafford, to Carrington. I wonder if Carrington and Old Trafford looks different than 20 years ago when he was at Manchester United. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about other transfer news surrounding Matthias de Ligt. Leno yet to make his decision, but it's reported there's suggestions that Real Madrid are preparing alternative options in the instance that Leno does accept Manchester United's bid. So we're going to talk about that. Girona officially announced Donny van der Beek for joining the club. First outgoing and possibly the first incoming happening this week. We're going to talk about that and any other Manchester United news. So be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well. But let's start with the most recent, or there's not most recent actually, because this also happened around, I think it was within like the same 5 or 10 minutes as the Fabrizio Romano news. Let's talk about this. Welcome to Manchester United, Rene Hack and RUUD van Nistelrooy, formerly the manager, first team manager of Go Ahead Eagles and formerly the first team manager of PSV Eindhoven. They both joined Manchester United to support Erik ten Hag. 2-year deals for the pair of them. So both of them get 2-year contracts, which also runs concurrently with Erik ten Hag's contract at Manchester United. And essentially, we'll see what happens after 2 years. But this also confirms, and I think Manchester United have set to confirm as well, the departures of Mitchell van der Gaag and Benny McCarthy. Benny McCarthy, the striker coach at Manchester United, and Mitchell van der Gaag, Erik ten Hag's right-hand man, second in command, assistant coach, whatever you want to call him. Both of them departing from Manchester United and making room for RUUD's return and Rene Hack as well. Now, this is a very interesting one to me because we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, which kind of suggests that, you know, they are both managers. They're not assistant coaches. They're not assistant coaches looking for that next step up. They're not an assistant coach looking for a new opportunity at a big club. They are people with managerial experience taking a back seat to join Erik ten Hag's coaching staff. That is serious. That makes me feel a lot more confident in the decisions that are being made at Manchester United right now. Of course, Umar Barada set to start his role on Monday. Dan Ashworth already in his role. Jason Wilcox already in his role. Christopher Vivell already in his role. We've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford as well in their role. So it's really just Umar Barada left to come and join Manchester United in terms of this shake-up at Old Trafford, this managerial and I'll say the structural shake-up that has happened in the last couple of months. Now, it has felt like a domino effect, and I do think, Umar Barada would have been involved in the conversation surrounding these two being appointed, as well as, Eric Ten Hag remaining. I think Dan Ashworth would also be in the conversations. One thing that kind of stands out to me when I read a bit about Rene Hacker, and obviously I know a bit about RUUD van Nistelrooy and his time at PSV Eindhoven, it seems like it's very aligned with the path that Manchester United are trying to go down in terms of the style of football they want to play. I think I don't want to be too over the top with the expectations and the predictions until, we bring in more players and the season kind of starts. But I think United are going to be playing some exciting football, or they're going to try to play some exciting football. I think there's going to be a clear identity on the pitch, which is what a lot of people, I myself, have spoken about last season, about identity on the football pitch, a clear style of play. I think Jason Wilcox will be heavily involved in implementing that, or in ensuring that it's implemented. I think he'll be involved in that. Of course, Eric Ten Hag will be, but I think RUUD van Nistelrooy and Rene Hacker bring that experience. And for me, I'm very excited to see, listen, Man United bringing in Joshua ZIRKZEE, obviously we're going to talk about that, but there is no one better that they could possibly learn from a striker perspective than RUUD van Nistelrooy. Rasmus Højlund, Joshua ZIRKZEE, any other forward that gets the opportunity to work with RUUD van Nistelrooy, that is a opportunity well deserved. And I'm really excited to see what happens with that. RUUD van Nistelrooy, one of the greatest strikers of the 2000s, undeniably, even if I'm being biased or not, but one of the greatest strikers, of course, left the United just under 20 years ago. So it's very, very exciting, and these kids won't stop shouting outside my window. I don't know what it is. Like, don't they have school in the morning? Don't they have school in the morning? But that is the latest. Non-player related, but that is the latest information. Manchester United have announced it as well. I think they were pending their visas over the last couple of days, but they've been at Carrington. They reported to Carrington on Monday. Yesterday, there was pictures of Eric Ten Hag, Rene Hack, and RUUD van Nistelrooy out in town having dinner. So today, Manchester United officially announced it. It's a new... Guys, I don't know what it is. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. I think that's actually a song. So let me not get done for copyright there. But it is a new dawn and it's a new day. And I am feeling very optimistic with the path that United are heading down. It's very exciting. It's very refreshing to see decisions being made that a lot of fans can so easily get behind. When it came to the appointment of Umar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason, all these names that United were wanting to bring into this restructuring, this was stuff that people could easily and comfortably get behind. RUUD van Nistelrooy, I haven't seen anybody against the idea of his involvement as an assistant coach. Rene Hack, I think I've seen people saying, who's that? But I think people have been so optimistic. And I think, I've been critical of Ineos when they first came in, and I said that I wasn't going to judge them until they really start laying the foundations of their project. And this looks like this is the foundations of their project. 2-year deal for Rene Hack, 2-year deal for RUUD van Nistelrooy, 2-year deal for Eric Ten Hag. 2 years from now, it will put them in a position to come back to the drawing board and reassess their options. It could be RUUD van Nistelrooy to take over in 2 years' time. It could be Eric Ten Hag staying on for even more than that. It could be a completely new manager. We don't know, but it does seem like the foundations are being laid for Ineos, under Ineos, for Manchester United. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about it. Big up to Ed, says it may be copium, but I'm hoping RUUD's here to learn to eventually take over from Ten Hag. It could be. I mean, I spoke about this in the past before, and I was saying that, he knows the club. That goes a long way. He's got first team experience as a manager. That goes a long way. He's got experience with developing young talents. He had young players such as Jared Branthwaite, Xavi Simons, etc. He had young players with him at PSV Eindhoven. And on top of all of that, his style of football, and I've watched him under PSV, but also there is so much stuff you can go and read, guys. So much stuff you can watch. He did a little video breakdown on the coach's voice on YouTube, talking about his style of football, etc. He's got a clear identity of playing football. He's similar to Eric Ten Hag, this 2-10s, the 2-8 system, this lone midfielder sometimes, or two midfielders playing deeper, inverted fullback, playing out from the back, pressing, width, all of these kind of buzzwords that we've heard over the last 2 years under Eric Ten Hag. He's got that. He's got that experience. And that's why I'm very intrigued about it, because I've said this before, the fact that he's left a role or he's left the opportunity of becoming a first team manager elsewhere, such as like Burnley, etc., to now go on to become an assistant coach. Is like, I'm not saying it's a step back, but you very rarely see people being a manager somewhere and then their next role is an assistant coach, unless they've gone to like international football or something like that. But the fact that he's willing to do that, him and Rene Hack, for me is very, very, it's good signs. It's very, very good signs. Off the pitch, United are getting their shit together. Excuse my language, but they're getting their stuff together. They're getting their business together, and that's what we've needed for so long. I think that's what's been the topic of discussion whenever we've spoken about the Glazers. We've spoken about Murto. We've spoken about Arnold. We've spoken about the lack of having people in specific places where they should be. And this is just a good example of the right decisions being made. But some football talk. We got 2 finalists in the Copa America. We got 2 finalists in the World Cup, in the Euros as well. I'm not going to talk about what happened in that Colombia and Uruguay game because that was madness. That was absolute madness. But Garnacho and Lisandro Martinez, both of them in the final, with Argentina in the Copa America, and of course these 2 boys here in the finals of the Euros against Spain on Sunday. Listen, this picture here is a wholesome picture. This is a wholesome picture because this was from this season, of course, a roller coaster of a season. But if you guys remember, less than 18 months ago, guys, Kobby Mayo made his Manchester United first team debut. Yeah, and I'm gonna hype him up because it seemed like people were so quick to denounce him. People were so quick to criticize him. And now everyone's realizing what United fans have been saying for so long. But 18 months ago, Kobby Mayo made his first team debut against Charlton. Didn't play much in that season, but then went on to play in the Under-18s Cup as well. And then got an injury in the summer. And since then, his life has been miraculous, if you want to say that. I don't believe in miracles, but if I did, I would say this is one of them. 8 or 9 or so months, I would say, of football since he made his debut last season, or his return into the first team, if you want to call it that. And since then, he's been so integral for Manchester United. Of course, as always, there's going to be small hiccups, but he's 19 years old, playing like he's 28, 27, like he's in his prime, so eloquently, so confident. He was the best midfielder for England yesterday against the Netherlands. Declan Rice, I thought he didn't play that great, but Kobby Mayo was so confident, so good. And it's so funny how the tide has changed for England in the Euros once Kobby Mayo was brought into the first team. The first 2 games, Southgate was insistent of playing Trent in the midfield. 2 crap games. Since then, it's not been amazing, but Kobby Mayo has consistently performed. He's consistently performed. Been an integral part of England's run to the Euros final, been an integral part of Manchester United's run to the FA Cup final, and then going on to win it and scoring a goal in the final. And I really think, guys, I really think Man United have to do right by him this summer and sign a player that can play alongside him. They have to do that. The biggest mishap that they would do is not signing someone that can play alongside Kobby. Look at him. He's matured so much over the last 18 or so months. In particular, I would say even so the last 9 months. And I'm very excited to see, because clearly he was on some duty in it. He was on some duty yesterday, had a little dap up with Joshua ZIRKZEE. And obviously, less than 24 hours, it's then announced that Joshua ZIRKZEE is joining Manchester United. So I think he knew. I think, obviously, Joshua ZIRKZEE knew as well. But seeing as we're here, we might as well start with it. We might as well start and talk about Joshua ZIRKZEE. Reported by Fabrizio Romano earlier today, it was around 4:45 p.m. UK time. Here we go. Manchester United and Bologna agreed terms for the transfer of Joshua ZIRKZEE. Now, I'm going to speak about, guys, why the context of how they've agreed terms is very important. It's very, very important from a PSR and financial aspect, because I've seen people suggesting United are broke. They can't pay 40 million up front, but they've actually got the better end of the bargain. I'm going to be real. Despite the fact that they're paying about 2.5 million more. So overall, the package is It's the 40 million release clause plus 2.5 million euros extra. 42.5 million euros, which is, I think, around 36-ish million pounds across the course of 3 years. Now, had Manchester United just triggered his release clause for straight 40 million, Manchester United would have had to pay it all in cash up front this summer transfer window and this financial year. However, they've been able to agree terms with Bologna to split the cost across 3 years. So what does this mean? Instead of the financial accounts showing a big 40 million euro payment in this financial year, instead it will show 11.8 million pounds. So that's how much Manchester United are going to pay over the course of 3 years. And from a financial accounting perspective, it makes a lot of sense for a club that clearly has cash flow problems. Manchester United have cash flow problems. That's no secret. We know that. I mean, they're paying about 1 million and something a month just on interest on the debt that the Glazers accumulated at Manchester United. So it's very obvious that Man United have cash flow issues, and this is the best way to kind of get around that. Both clubs get what they want in the end. Man United get the player that they want. Bologna get the money that they want, but just at a later date. But on top of that, they've been able to get a little bit more extra, which obviously they're happy to do so. This is why I said early in the stream, it's so important to have people that are meant to make those decisions and negotiate these situations in place. Because I promise you guys, if that was Murto, if that was Arnold, Man United are going there paying for 40 million and then saying, shit, we ain't got any more money left. We ain't got no cash because we just paid 40 million up front. But I would like to think that the involvement of specific players, such as specific people, such as Dan Ashworth, etc., negotiators, to be involved in this situation allowed Bologna a peace of mind to be like, you know what, we can agree this. We can absolutely agree this. And like I said, from a financial and accounting perspective, this is the best possible outcome for Manchester United, who are already treading quite lightly around the PSR situation for the 3 months, for the last 3 months, of the financial year that they've been reporting. So that is the financial aspect of stuff for this deal. Now, what is the contractual stuff? 5 years plus 1. There hasn't been really talk about what his salary is, but I can anticipate his salary will probably be about, I think it'll be like, I don't know, guys, let's try and guess in the chat what the salary will be for Joshua ZIRKZEE. I don't really care, as long as it's nothing outrageous like 250k, 200k. If it's like around 130, 150, I'll be okay with that, because he's going to play regularly. Now, Manchester United's expectation is that he will play alongside or an alternative option to Rasmus Højlund, but he will not be limited to playing as a striker. He will not be limited to that. Now, that is definitely a good sign, because that shows his fluidity, his flexibility. He can play across multiple positions. Maybe we might see him coming off from the left flank. Maybe we might see him playing as a second striker in the 10 area. We might see, a 4-2-2-2. I'm very curious to see what the formation is going to be for Manchester United next season. Obviously, until United finish up in the transfer window, finish getting the players that they want, and then finish getting rid of the players that they don't want, I think it'll be difficult to predict what that will be. 150k, no way. McTominay gets like 60k, but McTominay has come through the academy and probably is on his first or his second contract since coming out of the academy. I think United would have had to sell some stuff to Joshua ZIRKZEE, especially with AC Milan sniffing around, and I think his agent would try to get the best deal for him. I can say maybe 110, 120 would be reasonable. 150 is me being outrageous, but I think about 110 would be reasonable, especially with this wage structure, this new wage structure and transfer structure that this new Manchester United structure have in place, in terms of not overpaying players, not overpaying for transfers, and definitely not giving people 200, 250, 300k ever again, because it's clearly evident that you cannot offload that. ZIRKZEE is currently on 20k a week. 120k is way too much. Maybe he might get about 80k. 80, 90k is maybe then, I would say, if he's on 20k. I mean, that itself is still a big price jump. Like, that is still a big salary. Like, if I was on 20k and if you're offering me 50k, I would take it, because that is big. That is still huge. But I would say that 80 to 90k would be reasonable in that instance. a 5-year deal, which is interesting because if you lot remember last year, players that were coming in on 5-year deals. People that were coming in the year before that were coming on 5-6-year deals. Diogo Dalot, when he got his contract extended, got a 4-year +1 extension. Marcus Rashford as well. So it looks like the people that are getting these 5+ or 4+ years are people that are for the long term. This is United are building something. United are building a team. They're trying to build a team that will compete, that will be competitive, a team that will win. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's just because it's the first here we go of the summer that we've got, but I feel so optimistic. I feel optimistic for Joshua ZIRKZEE in the instance that, he's a different type of profile to Rasmus Højlund. Him and Rasmus Højlund can complement each other very well. That is, I think, the expectation. I think the expectation is also for him to take some heat off of ZIRKZEE, off of Højlund, sorry. But there's this picture that I saw. Where is it? No, did I get rid of it? Shout out to Sam from United People's TV. Oh, I think I deleted the picture by accident. Nope, here it is. Look at this, guys. Look at this picture. Just the thought of it. Just the thought of this makes me feel very, very confident. No disrespect to Benny McCarthy. Thank you for all the work that you did with Marcus Rashford in that first year you were here. But the strikers getting an opportunity to work under RUUD van Nistelrooy is going to be very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. I think Højlund, I hope Rasmus Højlund will be able to learn a lot, because there is quite a few stuff that he lacks that RUUD van Nistelrooy had in his locker at his time at Manchester United. So hopefully he'll be able to learn that. Same for Joshua ZIRKZEE as well. And I don't see him wearing number 9, by the way. I don't even think Højlund should wear number 11, personally. I don't think 11 is made for strikers, guys. I want to see my wingers wearing... I know this is off topic, but let's talk about traditional numbers for traditional players, because why am I seeing fullbacks wearing number 7? Come on. Let's not do that. I don't want to see strikers wearing 11. Definitely if you've not earned the right to wear the number. Definitely, I don't think Højlund has earned the right to wear number 11, personally. I don't think so. And Joshua ZIRKZEE, I don't know if they'll give him number 9. Big up to Steven says, big up all my fellow Red Devils, big up. Chloe says, our new number 9, ZIRKZEE. I don't even care what number he wears. Ridwan says 9 + 11 = 21 is coming. Bun the maths. No maths here, guys. There's no logic here. 9 + 11 = 21. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You're 21? No, honestly, guys, I feel very optimistic in it. Let's quickly just talk before we wrap it up about ZIRKZEE. Let me know how you lot are feeling about imminent. His medical is imminent. He's set to have his medical tomorrow, set to fly into Manchester today. He's set to fly in today. I'm surprised nobody is like tracking his flights or anything. Do we not do that anymore? Or is it not Man United fans that do that and it's other fan bases that do that? But it was reported, by the way, that the deal was agreed obviously today, but on Tuesday, personal terms were agreed about the contract, about 5 years, etc. And it's expected that United view ZIRKZEE as having a complementary skill set to Rasmus Højlund and being able to strengthen the range of possibilities up front. Now, just a background on him, he's spent a lot of time at different clubs. He's had loan spells at Parma and Anderlecht, where Anderlecht is where he popped off at, where Bayern Munich eventually let him go. He started off at Feyenoord in the youth system and now makes his way to Manchester United. Now, I saw the funniest thing ever that was suggesting that maybe Man United should make their away kit orange, given the number of Dutch people that are at the club. Given the fact also that the Netherlands got knocked out of the Euros, I don't really think that is a good idea. Personally, I wouldn't say that is a good idea. Now, quickly, if we just look at this, just over the course of the 23-24 season, Joshua ZIRKZEE is 9th out of 10 players for the biggest upgrades in their market value. Now, of course, Lamine Yamal is going to climb that rank, and well deserved. But if you look at that, that is 2 Manchester United players. I'm getting ahead of myself, but obviously ZIRKZEE will be a United player. So that is 2 Manchester United players that will be possibly the top 10 young players with high market value. That's interesting. I mean, I've already said how much I think Kobby Mayo is worth. I think he's worth 150 plus. Bellingham is in there. Wirtz is in there. João Neves is in there. Savio is in there. Zaire Emery is in there as well. And Cole Palmer is in there as well. Who added Guy Torres? I don't know who added bro there. He is not a child compared to these other people. I just literally realized the age gap between everyone. We got 16, 22, 20, 26, 26, 19, 19, 21, 20, 23, 18, 26. How is a 26-year-old here? How is a 26-year-old here? That's jokes. That's actually jokes. But these two obviously got knocked out yesterday in the Euros, and I think that will speed up the process. One thing I'm confident, guys, about Manchester United right now is they are capable of doing multiple deals at multiple times. That's the vibe that we're getting with the multiple different bids coming in across different places. Joshua ZIRKZEE, I thought maybe De Ligt would have been the first signing. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me did think De Ligt would be the first official Ineos signing, but I'm not mad about the idea of oh, wait, no, I think I said Joshua ZIRKZEE because I said about the release clause thing. I do think De Ligt is not that far behind. I think it's just a matter of Bayern Munich and Man United agreeing on terms, meeting halfway, word to Black Eyed Peas. They just need to meet halfway for the valuation. I think Bayern Munich were reportedly hoping to get up to 50 million euros. I don't think United is going to pay that. I think United are looking to pay about 45 million euros, which is just over 40 million pounds. I think it's the structure of the payments that is the most important thing. It's the structure of the transfer fees. I think Man United, a lot of the time when they are going to buy people this window, it's going to be structured and calculated payments. We're not going to be seeing big payments up front. We're going to see it spread across a course of a couple of years. And if United are able to negotiate that, then let them do that. I rate it because from a PSR perspective, guys, if United buy De Ligt and say they're spending 45 million pounds, say the bid for De Ligt is 45 million pounds, and they agree to pay it over the course of 3 years, and then they agree to pay Joshua ZIRKZEE's transfer over the course of 3 years, and then say they get, I don't know, Lenny Yoro, and they agree to pay that over the course of 3 years. From a financial aspect, they're not reporting anything more than a combined, I would say, 35, 40 million pounds in their financial books for the year, in comparison to what they probably would have been reporting today before. And on top of that, by the way, guys, they can amortize that against the number of contract years as well from a accounting perspective. So it really works out for United. It really works out for United in a good way. In terms of where they stand currently with the situation with Matthijs de Ligt, there's nothing really changed. I'll say nothing changed because today Florian Plettenberg said he tried to do his own little here we go kind of thing where it was just like breaking. It's decided. Matthijs de Ligt wants to join Manchester United with immediate effect, but we've been knowing that. We've been knowing that over the last week or so. We know that they've agreed terms between Matthijs de Ligt and Manchester United. A long-term contract, 5-year deal. We know that it's been agreed. We also know that, Manchester United are looking to put in a bid and negotiate with Bayern Munich. Now, Florian Plettenberg did go on, to say that Bayern Munich have been notified about De Ligt's decision. De Ligt's agent has notified the club that he wants to go and he wants to go to Manchester United. So they've been encouraged to get a deal done. And it's also been reported that his agent, Rafaela Pimenta, is working on the final details to get it done and get the contract signed. Medical not booked yet. Maybe a medical might be put in works for maybe on the week. I don't know. Is it optimistic to say on the weekend that a medical might be on the cards? I don't know. Has anyone ever done a medical on the weekend? I don't know. Have we ever seen a medical happening on the weekend? I'm not too sure. Footy Headlines posted a picture of the new Man United away kit on X. It's a dark blue color. Listen, Adidas sent me the new Manchester United kit. Is it here? No, it's in my cupboard. I put it away in my cupboard. Manchester United sent me the new home kit. Shout out to my wonderful family at Adidas Football. I will not share any pictures of any leaks until it's officially announced, guys. I'm not trying to ruin my relationships. I'm not trying to ruin the relationships that it took me so long to build with people like Adidas and Nike, because they don't like stuff getting leaked. So I'm going to wait patiently until the official announcement for the new kit. I did also say to them today as well, I did also say, I'm looking forward to the away kit and the third kit. So hopefully they send me that too. But I know what you're talking about because I've seen that picture floating around, or the suggestions of the leak floating around. Big up to MUFC Coolin says, which youngster are you looking at pre-season? Ooh, I'm looking at quite a few. I'm looking at quite a few youngsters, I would say. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the contribution. I'm looking at a few youngsters. Guys, get involved in the chat. Let me know what youngsters you're looking at. Talking about youngsters, this is actually perfect to actually share this now. Toby Collier signed a new deal with Manchester United earlier today. He's one player I'm looking at just because I feel like when Garnacho came onto the scene, Erik ten Hag was propping up Kobby. Then Kobby came onto the scene. And then when Kobby came onto the scene, Erik ten Hag was propping up Toby Collier. So obviously for that reason, I have to say it. He's quite highly rated as well from what I've read. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to be so honest. I don't know. I don't watch the youth team as much as I watch the first team, or if I watch the women's team. However, I do keep up with stuff, and I know Toby Collier is quite highly rated. I know Shia Lacey is highly rated as well. So I'm interested. I'm looking forward to see. Big up to Abdul Wahab says, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Hope you are doing well. But let me know who else in the chat, guys, you're looking forward to seeing. The thing is with preseason, I think we might see another situation like last summer where, because there's the American leg of the preseason, right? And then there's the European leg. I think the European leg, we're going to see a lot of the younger players play. And then the American leg, we're going to see more so, a change, like first half of, senior players and then second half of younger players. How many of those younger players actually go on and make it to the first team? That's for me an interesting question. Big up to Saeed with the raid coming through right now. Big up to my bro, straight from Mandem Talk, which I was actually watching earlier. Big up to everyone. But let me know what other youngsters you lot are looking forward to as well. But for me, Toby Collier, I'll put him up there. I'll put him up there with youngsters that I'm looking forward to. Big up to Steffi in the chat, says big up Minna and all. Big up. I hope you are doing well. Now, guys, this is an interesting one, because who edited this picture? If I had looked at this quickly, I would have told you this is Harry Maguire. I swear, the first time that I saw this picture, I genuinely thought it was Harry Maguire. I do think Theit will be the second Ineos signing. I mean, 2 deals for what? Less than 100 million. That is reasonable. That is very, very reasonable. And I've had my reserves about Matthias Theit. You lot already know when we were talking about Todibo, when we were talking about Leno, when we were talking about Mark Gahey, when we were talking about Matthias Theit, I did say that Matthias Theit was my least preferred on that list, even when we're talking about Jared Branthwaite as well. But it looks like there's something about him that Manchester United like. And this is interesting to me because, let me pull this up right now. There is no confirmed and guarantee, reportedly, for whoever United bring through in that centre-back position that they will be a starter. There is no confirmed situation, whether it's Lenny Yoro, whether it's Jared Branthwaite, whether it's Matthias Theit. Manchester United are reportedly expected to sign up to 3 centre-backs, and neither of them reportedly is expected for them to be a guaranteed starter. The only guaranteed starter is Lisandro Martinez. I don't know how to feel about that completely. And the reason why I'm saying I don't know how to feel about that just completely as an overall is just because you need consistency in your backline. Of course, you have teams like Manchester City, etc., who have, a heap of defenders available in the instance that someone gets injured. They got, Ruben Diaz, they got Vardio, they got Ake, they got Akanji, they got John Stones, etc. That is completely understandable. But when everybody is fit, I think they have relatively the same backline consistently. Same with Liverpool. It's reported also that Van Dijk, off topic, but Van Dijk is going to start looking at his options. But when Liverpool have everyone fit, have everyone available, you know who you're getting in that centre-back situation, because that is how you build a partnership. That's how you build the kind of fluidity in your backline when people play together consistently. Now, out of all the defenders that Manchester United have been linked to, I'm going to be totally honest, I don't know who I would think is the best partner from Lisandro Martinez. I would like to say Lenny Yoro, just from his skill set, from his athleticism. I think physicality wise, he's got a bit to work on, but from an overall centre back complement to Lisandro Martinez, I would say Leno. Now, before all of that, I would have said Todibo would have been the perfect partner to play alongside Lisandro Martinez. The idea of Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez doesn't bode well with me. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter what bodes well with me and what doesn't bode well with me, but just I'm talking about from the partnership options. Jared Brantwaite, and Lisandro Martinez, that would also be a good situation as well, especially because Jared Brantwaite, RUUD van Nistelrooy spoke about it in his interview with the Coaches' Voices. He spoke about his time at PSV Eindhoven developing Jared Brantwaite when he was on loan, and he was talking about his ability to play on the right side. Obviously, he plays left side at Everton, plays left side for England, but he's capable of playing right side as well, which is a very, very good thing. I think also in the instance during build-up, I think Man United will be playing with a back three that's a lot higher up the pitch. If Lisandro Martinez is fit, if Diogo Dalot is fit, Luke Shaw, etc., etc. So I would like to say Jared Brantwaite as well, but it does seem likely, I think, that it's going to be de Ligt as the first centre back that comes in through the door, followed on by that. That's where it's kind of all the questions kind of lie, because de Ligt is a good leader and will help keep a healthy locker room. I know a lot of Ajax fans say this. I know a lot of Ajax fans say that, you know, he's a great leader and he's a great voice, and he's a very good professional, which I think Man United need more of that in the dressing room. Man United need more leaders. Not just, I think when I say they need leaders, I think they need young leaders. We can't always heavily rely on older players like having Cristiano Ronaldo in the locker room or Johnny Evans in the locker room. We need young players with that, you know, that mindset, that professional mindset, that leadership mindset. We need more of that. I think Matthijs de Ligt was also Ajax's youngest captain at the age of 19. You don't see that often in football ever. You actually don't really see that. So that is also a compliment to his style and the type of player that he is. Now, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, that was a wonderful run. When fit and when available, that was a great pairing. I still even have my Twitter header, guys. I saw it today. I realized I have to change it because Varane has left. But it was a picture from a game where Rafael Varane made a last-minute clearance, and then Lisandro Martinez was grabbing him from his shirt here, celebrating, basically. I need to change that. But I just want something like that, but just a consistent basis, on a consistent basis, which for me is the most, I'll say, the most important thing. Could we see ZIRKZEE play on the wing? Well, he plays predominantly as a forward, as a number 9 or a 9.5, as Thiago Motta like to call it. He plays as a 9.5, can play in that second striker role. Manchester United reportedly also have this kind of plan for him to play across the front line, not just held to that number 9 position. And that's what I'm very curious to see. Speaking about Antony, I'm also curious at the fact that there's been no suggestions. I don't think Antony's getting sold, guys. I don't think Antony's getting sold. I think United have their hands full right now with Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood. So I think they kind of got their hands full with trying to sell another player such as, you know, Antony. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll be there next season. I think the future is bright for Amad Diallo, because he's sitting down with United to enter new contract talks because his contract finishes. You know, having a front line or having options that include the likes of ZIRKZEE, Højlund, Amad, Garnacho, Marcus Rashford. I do think United need one left winger. I genuinely think that, but I don't think it's a pressing. I don't think it's a pressing matter like I would say maybe midfield or centre back. Once Joshua ZIRKZEE is in the door, de Ligt is in the door. Hopefully a Leno or a Brantwaite is in the door. Ugarte is in the door. Once that is all in the door, I think then maybe United should look at signing a left winger. To kind of give competition to Marcus Rashford, give alternative kind of options coming off of the bench, because that's our biggest issue as well, is that when it comes to finding some inspiration off the bench, United tend to not really have that unless Marcus Rashford is coming off the bench, or Garnacho is coming off the bench, or Amad is coming off the bench. I think what I would like next season, and I don't know, let me know if you guys agree with me, what I would like to see next season is a situation where everybody coming off the bench in one way or another can impact a game. I don't want bodies on the bench just for the sake of it. I don't want bodies on the bench just to make up the numbers. I want everyone to have a role in the team, know what their role is, and if they come on, all the fans can definitely feel like they can make an impact. I think Joshua ZIRKZEE will be the starter. I don't know. Something tells me that he might be more suited to the way that Man United plan to play than Rasmus Højlund. But we've seen over the last, I'd say, what was it, the last 4 games or so of the season, last season, Rasmus Højlund coming off the bench with this impact play. He's the impact player off the bench. Now, you don't spend 70 million on an impact player. However, what I will say is that I can't criticize the current regime for the previous regime's decisions, because I do feel like, guys, and let me know actually if you agree or not. Do you feel like if this current Man United structure was in place last summer, do you think United signed Rasmus Højlund for 72 million euros? I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I think at 35 million they might have walked away, because everybody knew he was not worth that. Everyone knew he was not worth that, but Atalanta held out because they knew Alhamdulillah, excuse me, they knew that Manchester United were desperate. They knew Man United were desperate. Big up to East Canada, says big up Minna, hit the like button. RUUD! Guys, I need to go to my family house, look for my old Vodafone Man United shirt that had RUUD Van Nistelrooy on the back. I need to go look for it. He's most suited to Erik ten Hag, but having Rasmus is perfect too, 100%. Like, by the way, guys, I'm not criticizing us. I'm not criticizing Man United at all for having Rasmus Højlund. I'm saying it's a great option to have, but also I would also go as far to say, thank you very much, Kenshi. I will even go on to say that Man United need a third striker. I want a Füllkrug, guys. I want Füllkrug. I want a player like Füllkrug. If we brought Füllkrug, say, on a 2-year deal, I wish it could be like, by the way, like basketball. You know, when you get vets on a vet deal in basketball where you pay them like 5 million. I wish we could do that in football. But I would like someone like Füllkrug, a third option off the bench, a target man up top. He probably might not cost much. However, I will say that Guirassy might fail his medical at Dortmund, guys. I don't know if you're aware, but Dortmund have triggered Guirassy's release clause of 17.5 million. He went to do his release clause, and then it was reported that there was an issue identified, an injury problem identified during the medical. So that's all that's been shared as of right now. They might turn around and say, you know what? We don't want to sign him anymore because he's failed the medical. And that way, Füllkrug still is the starter for Dortmund. And maybe they got some money to spend on Jadon Sancho. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Why are some fans turning on Rasmus? I don't know who's turning on Rasmus. And why they're turning on Rasmus. Because I, for one, I'm excited to see Rasmus working. Shout out again to Sam from United People's TV. I'm excited to see this. Give RUUD some shin pads and there's a striker. Who's to say that between the 3 of these guys right now on the screen that RUUD Van Nistelrooy is not the best striker out of the 3 of them right now? That Dortmund guy you just said is in my head, an out striker as a third option. Wallahi, I'm good. Yeah, Guirassy or are you talking about Füllkrug? Füllkrug for me would be a good option off the bench. Target guy and good number 9. I don't know if you lot see, but when the Netherlands were playing with Weghorst in comparison to like Memphis Depay up top, they played different with a target man. Weghorst might not do the silky stuff like Ruud van Nistelrooy, Robin van Persie, etc. would have done up front for the Netherlands, but he does the good stuff in terms of causing problems for the backline, physical presence, height, duels, aerial duels. He does all of that, which allows, if you've got runners in behind, Xavi Simons, Gakpo, if they were running in behind, it would, you know, Weghorst is doing a good job. I feel like Füllkrug could be that. Instead of us turning to McTominay on the bench to bring him on, I would absolutely slap Füllkrug up top, Højlund and ZIRKZEE as well. When you're chasing a goal, chasing points, I would do that. Abdul Wahab says, Rasmus is a lost cause, Minna. I don't know, man. He's young, still can develop. I just think, you know what it is with Rasmus, and I don't like to turn on players. That's the thing. I said I'll give new players a chance definitely for a year or two. I think it's the price tag that weighs heavy on him. And I cannot blame him for that. I can't blame him for the price tag. I'll never blame him for the price tag. I blame the leadership at the time that, thought it was acceptable to buy him for that. I think that price tag weighs heavy on him because you've got other players. Vardy joined Man City for a big price tag. What was it? Near enough to 80 million euros. Nobody talks about it because they won the Premier League. He scored some important goals during that campaign. No one talks about it. But when you're a striker and you join Manchester United in a difficult period for the club, and then you go on to have a goal drought in the Premier League and you don't score your first Premier League goal until December, people get impatient. Not football has lost its patience for players. You have to perform within a year. Otherwise, people will turn on you. I think for me, Rasmus Højlund's biggest shortcoming it's not the way that he plays or anything. It's the price tag. Because of that price tag, people expected 25, 30 goals, coming with that price tag, especially with the strikers that would have been available in the market as well. Now you look at the strikers in the Premier League next season. Obviously, you got people like Haaland, you got Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney. For me, I was saying this last night to my cousin. I think Tottenham should sign Ivan Toney because I think that's all they're missing. I don't think my cousin is a Tottenham fan, and he was saying they got Richarlison, and I was like, Richarlison is not better than Ivan Toney. Man United ain't getting Ivan Toney. Chelsea aren't. I don't think Arsenal are either. Obviously, Arsenal were linked to Sesko, but I think now clubs are realizing, teams are starting to realize you need a number 9 if you're going to compete at any level in the Premier League or even in Europe. You have to have a number 9 right now. It's the most important thing, which for me is obviously clear on day. Just a little update on Leno Euro quickly. Manchester United reportedly still waiting for a decision from Leno Euro about whether he wants to decide whether he wants to join the club or not. There is nothing kind of indicating that he wants to join Real Madrid completely, and there's nothing indicating that he has made his mind up on Manchester United. Now, Real Madrid have started doing also their due diligence, where they've started now looking at alternative options in the possibility that he does choose to join Manchester United. But again, this is still a work in progress. I think, what's the likelihood that this decision is made before the lit? It could happen. Leno Euro could decide to make his decision tomorrow. He could make his decision tomorrow and say, no, I don't want to join Manchester United. And then Man United need to go back and put a third bid in for Jared Brantwaite, which is reportedly what they plan to do. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Obviously, if you were living under a rock all day, the here we go came for Joshua ZIRKZEE and not for Matthijs de Ligt. But I think Matthijs de Ligt will be the next one. This is so funny to me, guys. The first outgoing for Manchester United is 500,000 euros worth. Let me repeat that. 500,000 euros worth. Girona sign. Why does their kit look like Manchester City? Why does their kit look like a red version of Manchester City? This is not the team that is owned by the City Group, is it? Is Girona owned by City Group? They are. Why do I think it was a different team? Explains why it looks like the City kit. They've got the same. Is this allowed in football for you to have the same sponsors across everywhere? Is that allowed? Because they're both sponsored by Puma and they're both sponsored by Etihad Airways. Shout out to Etihad Airways, guys. Etihad Airways, for me, top. Out of all the airlines I've ever taken, I will put Etihad in my second. Number 1 for me is Qatar Airways. That's the best airline in the world. Why would Etihad sponsor them? Because they're owned by City Group. And City Group obviously have links to Etihad. And I think this is interesting because if right now this season United are sponsored by Snapdragon, but say 3 years from now, Man United gets sponsored by Ineos, is that going to be allowed? Or are UEFA going to find a way to say United can't do that? But it's okay for Manchester City to be sponsored by Etihad. And it's okay for PSG to be owned by Qatar and be sponsored by Qatar Airways. That's okay. But the second that I think United plan to get a sponsorship from Ineos, they're going to be like, nope, conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest, not allowed. Just a little update on Mason Greenwood's situation and Marseille. Marseille are now working on personal terms with Mason Greenwood to kind of agree whether or not he wants to join and for what the salary situation is. Roberto De Zerbi is pushing for the deal to happen, as is Marseille. You lot remember yesterday we spoke about the mayor of Marseille speaking on radio, saying that he was going to speak to the president of Marseille regarding this. The salary structure, once it's agreed, I think we'll get the here we go that he's leaving Manchester United. 30 million package, 30 million package, but with a hefty sell-on clause, a 50% sell-on clause, which is how Manchester United probably plan to recoup any money that they may have lost over the last couple of years with their inability to sell players. So that is the current situation. They are still deciding, or they are still on speaking to Mason Greenwood about the contractual side of stuff. And just a little update on this guy right here. I miss you, bro. I miss you. Raphael Varane, the ghost of Rafe, the Phantom, is set to join Como after optimistic talks with the club. The Raphael Varane deal is expected to be done by next week, and negotiations are progressing well. Cesc Fabregas has been pushing for Raphael Varane to join. Obviously, if you lot don't know, a little story on Como. They got promoted from the second division to top flight football. And they've always got nice kits. You know me, guys. I love good kits. I love a good football kit. They've got nice kits. Cesc Fabregas got them promoted. And now they're going for Raphael Varane, which is interesting to me that they can actually afford to get him. Obviously, I'm going to keep an eye on that just because that's Raphael Varane. That's Raphael Varane. I'll always have a soft spot for him. But just a quick roundup of some news. Obviously, if you've, like I said, been living under a rock, this guy here returns back to Manchester United. This time as an assistant coach alongside Rene Hack. Welcome to United, both of them. Now, they posted a video earlier today. Manchester United posted a video of Ruud van Nistelrooy walking through Carrington. And in my head, I was just thinking, I wonder if it looks any different to how he remembered it to look. I really, really wonder if he remembers, if it's changed that much compared to him. And obviously, the biggest news of it all, the here we go for Joshua ZIRKZEE. Listen, before we wrap it up, the last couple minutes, guys, let me know what you feel or how you feel about this deal. Let me know in a couple words, in a sentence, how you feel about this deal. Are you feeling optimistic? Are you excited for Joshua ZIRKZEE? Are you underwhelmed? Did you think Man United would go for somebody like Isaac or Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen or something like that? Are you looking forward to him playing up front? What do you make of the deal that United have negotiated? Despite the fact that they'll be paying more in hindsight, they'll be paying more, slightly above the release clause. I mean, it's about 5% more than the release clause. They've structured it in a way from an accounting and financial situation. It works best for them. They'll be reporting about 12 million every year in the financial accounts, which will put them in a better position PSR wise, and from an overall 3-year perspective wise, which works for them. It works for Manchester United, and I think if I was just to put a financial hat on for now, I think it's the best situation it's the best outcome that they could have got from the situation. Kobby Mayo and Joshua ZIRKZEE obviously dapping each other up after the game, and it's not too long until we see him in a Manchester United shirt. Expected to have his medical tomorrow, flying into the UK today. Obviously, Manchester United's pre-season tours start next week, but I don't think he'll be a part of it. I think he will join up with Manchester United on the America part of the tour, because obviously he's just left the Euros with the Netherlands, so he gets some time off, and I think it'll be the same with Matthijs de Ligt. I said this yesterday. It was so funny. I said this yesterday. I said I hope the Netherlands get knocked out, and then the first here we go we get is Joshua ZIRKZEE, and that they come and do their medicals and sign with Manchester United, and then they can go on their holidays, go to Ibiza, go to Mykonos, wherever it is these footballers go, and then come back pre-season, join up with Manchester United in America. And it seems like that's what's happening. Paul says decent signing. Michael says great deal. AA says I'm happy with the price. OJ says good signing, good price, player profile makes sense. Now we wait and see. Abdul Wahab says ZIRKZEE's going to start. Højlund can hold bench. We could tell that Abdul Wahab does not like Rasmus Højlund. I'm really excited about his profile. Like I said, Bologna fans really speak highly of him. They speak very, very highly of him. And I think, you know, Bologna are going to make some money this summer with selling Calafiori to Arsenal as well, and then obviously selling Joshua ZIRKZEE. They're making near enough to 100 million. Can we get Tony too? I don't see Ivan Toney happening, because Brentford reportedly are looking for at least, or at the most, 60 million. I don't see that happening. Nor do I see Ivan Toney joining Manchester United. By the way, Ivan Toney wouldn't fit into this ideology that Manchester United are trying to build with this young and upcoming talent, and, you know, players under 26 and all of that kind of stuff. I just don't see it. Financially, I don't see it. I would have loved Ivan 2 years ago. If United brought Ivan Toney, I would have loved it. I would have loved it. Even now, I would love it. Ollie Watkins, I would love him at United. I think all of them, like a lot of strikers in the Premier League, I would love them at United. But I think we have to accept that it's not going to happen. I'll be very, very shocked if United go in for Ivan Toney, unless they manage to fleece Brentford into some sort of deal. That's the only way I see it happening. And if they can do it with, you know, Bologna, if they can do it with Bayern Munich, maybe they can get something out of Brentford. Maybe they can get something out of Brentford. Kobby has to get a better jersey number and a better contract with a huge release clause. Listen, if Lamine Yamal's release clause is 1 billion, Pedri and them guys got release clauses of 1 billion, yeah? I want Kobby to have 1 billion. I want him to have a 1 billion release clause. Minna, do you think we're going to get Euro or Branthwaite? Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Who do you guys think United are going to get? Who do you guys think United are going to get? I don't know, man. A part of me thinks that United might get Branthwaite. I just feel like with Euro having his heart set on Real Madrid, I just don't see it happening. Yeah, I don't really see it happening. I don't know. I think Branthwaite is definitely going to be more likely. I feel like they're going for Euro just to show Everton, listen, if you don't accept the bid, we've got other options elsewhere. The fact that they're able to just pay that all up front, why not get both? I think that is the plan. I think it's reported that United's plan is to get 2 now, and the third will be if Maguire leaves. But I think United should keep Maguire. You know, I'm under the notion, like, unless it's guaranteed that United get De Ligt and they get Euro and they get Branthwaite, sell Maguire. But if it's not guaranteed that we get all 3 of them, then keep Maguire. Keep Maguire. Excuse me. I've seen United also linked to Hancock from I think Feyenoord. So that's another player that Manchester United has been linked to. I think maybe, and it's been kind of debated many times, will Luke Shaw be shifted into this left-sided centre-back option? You know, we've seen him play there quite a few times over the last 2 years under Erik ten Hag. I see that maybe being an option as well for the left-sided centre-back. But I think it's Branthwaite. I think it's going to be De Ligt and Branthwaite. I will be so shocked if Lenny Euro says I'm 100% committed to Manchester United. You know, put all his chips in and say I'm all in. I will be very, very shocked. And it's not because I think he doesn't rate United. I just think when you're 18 years old and you've already given your word to another club and you've already agreed with that club, and that is your preferred place to go, you're not going to waste time and be like, you know what, I'll just go here until this club is ready to buy me. No, I think he'll happily wait. But then again, you look at it from a personal perspective and think, do you think Lenny Euro feels like he owes anything to Lille? Do you think he owes, like, given the fact that he's spent his latter stages of his academy age there and then progressed through making his debut at 16, first team player by 17, you know, and is the last, I would say, is the biggest asset that they have to sell right now. And like I was saying yesterday, I was saying this a few days ago on stream, the fact that French clubs don't have a lot of TV revenue, you know, transfers is a big thing for them. Transfers is a very huge and important part for them. So getting the best deals is important. So he might feel like a sentimental side of stuff where he might feel like he owes this to the club. And the president of Lille is reportedly pushing to get him to sign with Manchester United because no one else is going to pay that price. Definitely not Real Madrid. And Real Madrid know their pool, by the way. Real Madrid know their name holds weight. You got Vinicius, you got Valverde, you got Jude Bellingham, you got Kylian Mbappe now, you've got Arda Güler, you've got proof of bringing young talents and developing them, and you've also got proof of having some of the best players in the world. And everybody wants to play with the best players in the world. Everyone wants to play for the best team. Everyone wants to be part of the best team. So I feel like it's a lot to balance out in when it comes to Lenny Yoro making his decision. Mudryk gave his word to Arsenal, but Chelsea offered more, and the club pushed to get him to go to Chelsea. That's true. That could possibly happen. But you see how Mudryk is playing. The guy's playing like he's playing ass. Excuse my language, but he's playing poor. What do you think of Kadioglu from Turkey as a left back choice? I think he's good. He really impressed me in the Euros. But guys, I am skeptical of having reviews about people based on 4 or 5 games of competition international football. You know, I'm not saying it because of past players, but you know, you see Cody Gakpo performing for the Netherlands all the time on the international stage when it comes to competitions, and then for Liverpool, he's a bit underwhelming. But I liked him. I liked Kadioglu from Turkey. I know he plays left wing as well for his club. I just don't know if United see left back as a pressing matter. If Malacia, it looks like it's reported, by the way, Malacia is doing individual training. He's not going to be training with the first team yet. He's doing individual workouts, etc. I'm hearing people saying that the Malacia situation is so bad that it might be his footballing career done. Like, that's how bad it is. So I hope United do see left back as a pressing situation, but I do think that there's other places that United need to fix, man. We need centre backs, we need midfielders, we need strikers, we need wingers, we need fullbacks. I think, you know, if United don't sell Wan-Bissaka, it's good. I'd rather he leaves on a free next year. Honestly, guys, I don't think you're going to get 10 million for Wan-Bissaka in this window. Keep him for 1 year. Have the depth in the fullback position, and a different style of he's a different style of defending. If you want, I can't believe I'm saying that, but he is a different style of defending when it comes to people like Dallo, etc., etc. But that's it, man. Big up to everyone. Listen, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Big up to Saeed with the raid. If you've come through from Saeed's channel and you've stuck around for this long, listen, welcome to the community. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the like button. We do daily streams here on the channel. If there's any other news as well, we do go live, but we do daily roundups. You can find Manchester United women content here. You can find men's content here as well, and just generic football content. We'll be live as well tomorrow with some Elden Ring episode 2. I know it's been 2 weeks since the last time I did an episode. 2 weeks ago we started Elden Ring. Tomorrow we'll be live again. I'm going to be stressing out as per usual, so be sure to come through, and obviously we'll be live tomorrow for a roundup of Manchester United news. But be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the members gang, the minions gang as we call it here, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. It's the road to 5k. We ain't that far away. The goal is to get there by the start of the season. If you want to follow me on other platforms, guys, this is my handles here: Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I'm posting consistently on TikTok. Imagine that. Who would have thought? I said this year I'll be consistent, and I am. I'm posting consistently on TikTok. You heard it here first from David himself. I'd recommend becoming a member. I would too. Abdulhab says, do you stream on Twitch? Yes, I do. Link in the bio of my Twitch, but I also stream stuff here on the channel. But big up to everyone. Listen, hit the like button on your way out, and we will be back tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm out, guys. Peace.